Hello beautiful souls, I am Yasuko and it's time for Massage Monday. Have you ever had cupping? This week I will have my favorite acupuncturist in Hawaii, Dr. Evan Murao, explain what cupping is. He will explain different types of cupping and how it works.
Yeah, so there's different material of cupping. Commonly, the more traditional route would be the glass cups that we use in Chinese medicine. That's procured by utilizing a fire agent to extinguish the oxygen, and then that creates a void or a vacuum, so that way it creates a suction on top the skin. And then there's the plastic cups. The plastic cups utilize a air pump gun, which draws out the air and creates that vacuum. And then lastly is the silicone cups. The silicone cups you push onto the top, which pushes out the air, and that creates a vacuum space. So the differences would be the glass cups are really utilized and useful for firmer, hard cupping, meaning the strength of the suction is really good. The rim of the glass cup is favorable to do slide cupping better, and it's less abrasive on top of the skin when you use massage oil in combination. The plastic cups, I would say, because I use that almost a lot unless it's the discretion of the person that they want me to use a different material. But the plastic cups, I have a discernment on how much suction strength I want behind the cup, and then I can take my time to exactly know where I want to put the cups on top of a person's body rather than needing to determine and rush through it. So that way, if I'm using the fire cups, it's not going to bring back oxygen where it's going to lessen the suction. So I can take my time doing it. I can be more uniform in where I want to put the cups in certain strength areas. So say for instance, by the neck, in the more vulnerable areas, you want to do a lighter style cupping suction strength. And then on the back, you can do a more harder or stronger suction strength. And then lastly, the silicone cups, I would say it's best used for lighter style cupping. Say if a person is sensitive or they're diabetic and their skin is a little bit more malleable to being clotting, it's really good to utilize that because the natural pushing down on top of the cup creates just of a lesser suction strength compared to the glass and then also the plastic. And then I would say it's best used for myofascial moving, slide cupping, because it's utilized just because of the light suction. You can get to the fascial layer rather than having it more deep. And then it's faster too because you can push it into it with your hand, have it engage, and then take it off really quick and then push it down again rather than either lighting it up with the glass cup or using the air pump gun for the plastic cups. So that would be the three ways that we utilize cupping. And cupping in general is similar to massage therapy. The only difference is that instead of the massage being a place where you push down on top the muscle tissue to move old deoxygenated blood or lactic acid or cytokine markers contained in the muscle fibers, you utilize the suction method to draw up the skin so it creates space within the dermis, the fascial, the interstitium, the muscle, superficial and deep muscle layers, and that it gets engaged and engorged with oxygenation because it's forced now. And then it simultaneously opens up the small little capillaries on the dermis layer to release and express out the deoxygenated blood to the lymphatic level. And so that also carries up the lactic acid, any type of residual toxins that's lodged in our body, heavy metals, things like that. And then it gets filtered out, like I said, through the lymphatic system and flushed out. It's kind of like shaking up a snow globe, and the sediment is like all the yuck that is not been moved or poorly circulated because of the tension. And so the cupping method kind of shakes things up and moves it up to the upper level so that way it can get flushed out. So that's in a sense of what it is. Sometimes people can feel a little sickish, especially after their first cupping session, just because it's reintroducing quote unquote foreign pathogens, but it's just stuff that has been embedded for a long period of time that's been moved up. So it's just a natural immunity response that your body goes through, which in a sense it boosts up your immune system too. So on a simple term, there's different colorations of the cupping marks. If it's light red, that means that it's a healthy circulation in that local area. If there's no coloration, then that can be that there's not too much blood being pulled up, so it needs a little bit more help. Or the person might be anemic, so they have a low blood cell count. When it starts to get a little bit more red, with some spots, that can be more of a internal heat. And what that can be is just things that are trapped inside the tissue that is being expressed, but it would have been expressed if we just exercise or move, etc. And then you get more into the purplish coloration, and that's where the muscle is expressing that there's lack of circulation. So oxygenated blood is more on the redder side, bright red. And then you have deoxygenated blood, which is a little bit more purple or purplish in nature because of the lack of oxygen. So that's why you have those cups. It's similar to getting a hickey rather than a bruise. It's pretty much the same thing, but using different things to achieve the same result. But once it starts to get really dark, that can be a sign of severe stagnation and possibly even heavy toxins that could indicate either cancer or some type of more severe condition. There's those levels of discoloration, and it can also be bluish too. And the bluish mark can indicate that there's some type of cold, or the blood in that area is cold. So when you get cold, it's a little bit more bluish because it's lighter in nature from the purplish it's been. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of dark purple on my shoulder.
A little bit, yeah.
But that's how you can engage how healthy or not healthy you are.
Right, yeah. And a lot of the times when I do see people have more severe stagnation, I forgot to say is that they might have had old injuries, physically traumatic injuries, either a car accident or they fell, other things like that. That's been healed, but the tissue now is more dense, so there's lack of proper flow. And so that could be also an indication too, if it's more darker in coloration.
I see.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing that information.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the best way to get in touch with me is to go on my website. It's www.innerchihawaii, INNERCHIHAWAII.com. And there you can find a lot of information of the type of services I provide people. There's also a little bit of research articles, a little topic of blurbs that I put in blog posts in the past, and how to get in touch with me if you wanted to make an appointment, where I'm located. All that is inside the links to my website. Yeah.
It's apparent which part of my back needed attention. The cupping trace remains longer when the circles are darker, and mine went away in about a week. Knowing this effect, you may want to time when to receive cupping if you're planning on wearing a dress revealing your skin. He's my must go for treatment whenever I go to Hawaii. I have another video about his practice and what he does and how he treats people using traditional Chinese medicine and his counseling background. So please check it out. Thanks for watching. Make it a great week.